What is going on, folks? It is Dr. Remy LeBeau, and I'm coming at you once again from the X-Layer to provide you a little bit more of my thoughts on the finale of WandaVision. I just watched it again for a second time, and I have clearer eyes. Having already seen it, all my expectations are out the window, and I can just appreciate it for what it is, and also think more about what it was trying to accomplish and what may be coming. And I have had a few more thoughts about it. First of all, I really love the fucking episode. It's beautiful. It looks great. It's acted great. Like, everything works so well. And I think, like, the last two episodes together can be their own Marvel movie, but, like, the whole series itself is, like, really a great fucking experience. But I did want to point out a couple of things. First of all, Quicksilver. And this is obviously a big concern for me. I just wanted to make sure I got these thoughts down. Quicksilver has super speed. The guy has super speed. And so, like, maybe he is this Ralph Bonner guy, and, like, he is, and, like, that was sort of the identity that was given to him by the Hex power. But I don't believe that he was actually just some random guy named Ralph Boner. I mean, there was a picture or whatever, but all of that was seen before the Hex went away. And when the Hex went away, we did not see him. So Agatha was controlling him, right? But she didn't create him. And it could be assumed that he lived there, but it has to, like, it could be that, like, she pulled him out of another dimension, brought him in, but didn't realize she did it. So he just goes about thinking that he's this Ralph Bonner guy, which is what the Hex sort of made up, because they specifically said that, like, Dottie, like, they made a point to say that Dottie, her name, wasn't her real name. And so therefore Ralph Bonner's name is not his real fucking name. That's the name that was made up in the fucking Hex. I think that everything that we've been looking for from this show in terms of what it could lead to is going to happen in Doctor Strange. I think that's where it's going to happen. I think this is a setup. This is not a payoff. This is a setup for something bigger. I think that what Wanda did was, like, nobody in the show has been able to articulate what exactly she was doing. But I still say that she pulled him out of another dimension, that a lot of her power is based on interdimensional sort of extraction, and that in Spider-Man 3, we're going to start seeing shit happening in the world that will be somewhat confusing, that will be some sort of a result from things that Wanda did here. Or, actually, no, wait, I thought of something else earlier. I forgot about this. Okay, so she did her thing here. Like, the Hex went away. We don't know what happened to Ralph Bonner. We don't know what happened to him, right? But the idea is that at the very end, we hear the kids sort of telling her, help me. And then she, like, clearly is reading the Darkholm and, like, is brushing up on her powers. So you have to assume that she's learning, and therefore she starts doing things, right, to try to find her children. And maybe that is what leads to the boundaries between dimensions falling, or, like, sort of things, for aspects of other dimensions being brought into our dimension, you know, and things just start to sort of blend in, and that eventually kind of blends in mutants into this reality. But clearly this was the setup for it. It was about Wanda, the show. It was about her dealing with her grief and how all that sort of went. And it was fucking great, you know? Like, she acted so fucking well in this. Catherine Hahn was fucking fantastic. Like, everybody did such a great job. What's his name? The guy that plays Vision, fucking great. Even the kids were really good, you know? Like, there's so much really good stuff. And as a self-contained story with a few, like, sort of, you know, ramifications that could ultimately reverberate throughout the Marvel Universe, fantastic. But I think for sure this is a setup for something. I think maybe not what she did in the show directly, but what she does post the show, from that second post-credits moment forward, is where she will start to affect sort of the line between reality. And then she'll either go to Doctor Strange and have him try to help her, or he will have to seek her out because whatever she does is so catastrophic to the sort of interdimensional framework that that it starts to threaten the things that he has been tasked to protect. Or it starts to allow, because maybe walls between dimensions start to fall apart, it starts to allow some of these interdimensional beings that are like, you know, of great power that are constantly threatening Earth to finally become a legitimate threat, and Doctor Strange has to address it, at the same time addressing Wanda, and then maybe that ultimately leads to some resolution that gets mutants into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I do respect that, like, that Kevin Feige has said that this would be part of a bigger story, and so for me, for any of us to have expected that, like, the really big things to happen in this, that is asking too much. And like, given what we got, I think that's pretty sufficient. I'm pretty satisfied with what we got, and I love this whole thing. I think it's really fucking great. As like a 4.5 hour movie, it's fucking fantastic. And I'll probably watch this more than I watch the Zack Snyder Justice League, even though I am looking forward to that. I will admit to that. I will look forward to that. Maybe I'll make a video on it as well if I have some thoughts on it. But anyway, I wanted to make sure I got that down because I don't think this is it. I don't think what I thought last night, that Kevin Feige was just trolling us, or maybe we were being trolled, but we were being trolled like preemptively to sort of like distract us, and then later it'll take us back the way that we assume it's going to go, or a different way, but something that will ultimately be very satisfying. And I have no doubts about it, but I'm very happy about this whole thing, and I'm very happy about this finale. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure I put this little sort of addendum down on my video from last night so that it's clear that with clearer eyes and with expectations out of the way, like, I can appreciate it, the finale, for what it is. And it is spectacular. That Vision fight was fantastic. I really enjoyed the Wanda Agatha fight stuff. That was fucking great. Yeah, I like everything. I like that. Oh, I noticed one other thing. Like at the end, what's her name? Monica Rambeau. She's like, the lady's like, we need you in the theater. And then she goes into a movie theater. That's so fucking cool, man. That's such a metaphoric, like, message to us. It's like, yeah, they need this character that they've just developed in the show in the fucking movie that will be coming out in the future in Captain Marvel 2 is clearly what they're fucking referring to. So that's really fucking awesome. I love that. I love so much about this. And I know that there's always so much more than we see, and there's so much more to happen than we can even imagine. And I know that a lot of it is just about just like being happy with what we get and then just kind of moving forward from there. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Anyway, I just wanted to get these thoughts down. Hope everybody's doing well. Have a great fucking Friday. Enjoy, just, I guess, rewatching the show if you're going to do that, because you should. I will soon. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to check out my video. And as always, I want to remind you that if you have not already, it is time to put an X in that box, because ain't nobody checking me. Take care, folks. Bye.